Dead Channel Duo podcast episode number 47, talking over you, Alex. How you doing?
That's going to be real fun to edit, Andy. But you know what? I'm going to go with it. I kind of like the cold open. So I'm doing pretty well. Andy, how are you?
I'm experiencing some insomnia.
Oh, really?
Self-diagnosed.
Okay.
So that's sick.
You ever have those moments where it's not insomnia, you just don't want to sleep because you feel like it's a waste of time?
The past 4 days, the longest I slept was 3 hours. I don't think it's that.
No, I don't think it's that for you at this particular juncture. I know, I still kind of go through this phase, especially on weekends. I'll sit there and I'll tell myself, if I'm working on something, specifically around content creation, I'll be like, man, if I just stay up a little bit longer, I could get a little more content out.
I was just trying to fix my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
And then, I one day I made it rebuild because that's a thing now.
Yeah.
And then I took a nap, woke up, and ever since then I just can't sleep.
So I feel like when we started this show, we talked about this a little bit more, but things have gotten in the way, obviously, for both of us. But Andy, he's doing rebuilds again on his own channel. It's back. ATH is back. Kind of excited.
He'll quit in a week.
Oh, come on, dude. I don't know. I got Bucks franchise going on my channel. Bucks franchise episode. By the time this comes out, episode 2 will be out. First one went pretty well. I'm hoping to just get more views every episode, and then hopefully people start trickling in for the old ones. But
my first part, which is lined up with your second part, is a good video. I'll say that.
Yeah, I need to actually check that one out. I have it on my watch list, but haven't gotten around to watching it because today, what I would have done, watching YouTube like I normally do, I ended up watching the DCD Film Club selection. My life has been pretty crazy lately. Really can't talk about it until a couple weeks from now, but I'll give you guys all the details once I'm officially allowed to talk about it. Lots of changes coming up. We'll see how it goes. Yep. So, what have you been watching? What have you been playing this week, Andy?
I've been playing 2K, apparently. It's on my dock. I don't remember playing 2K this week.
Okay.
I've been playing Madden, obviously. And then watching wise, I continued on my trend of watching awful TV shows. I finished Scream season 3. I don't even know how to describe it. It's somehow worse than 13 Reasons Why. And then I watched From Beyond. It's this wild 80s horror movie. And then on Friday the 13th, I watched the first 6 Friday the 13th movies in a row. And then the film club this week. And then tomorrow, I'll be playing Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was thinking about doing a series of that on my channel. And the reason why is It'll Do Too was basically a Link's Awakening, modern kind of take on that style of game. And that was a really fun series for me. So I kind of
It'll Do One's on the Switch.
Wait, what?
It'll Do One is on the Switch.
It'll Do One? Yeah, I thought about buying that and just maybe going back and doing a series for that too. Because the It'll Do Two series will always be one of my favorites on the channel. I have so many good memories of that series. I go back and I watch those videos and I smile.
I almost memed, but I was like, oh, it's the only series you actually finished. But you finished Ukulele finally.
No, I did finish Ukulele, and I finished some other ones. Tomb Raider Remastered or Definitive Edition. There's a couple others that I actually have finished. It's tough, man. Life gets in the way when it comes to content creation. Anyways, this week I've been playing a lot of Madden, World of Warcraft, Forza Horizon 4. Forza Horizon 4, the newest update on the PC is amazing. I actually don't play it on my console. Even my Xbox One X, I just don't want to play it on there because it actually looks better, plays better, runs better on my PC. And you just get some crazy good, smooth frame rates and great visuals blown away with how great that game looks on PC. It's kind of a far cry from how things used to be. Like, a lot of games that were specifically made for consoles, the PC version would kind of be an afterthought, and it wouldn't play as well. Not necessarily because you didn't have great specs, but mostly just because the developers, it's like, it's the PC version, nobody's going to buy it. So this Xbox Live Anywhere, or Xbox Play Anywhere thing's kind of beautiful in that way. Madden has been a lot of fun this week, aside from the house rules thing. Kind of took a little bit of a break from Madden, didn't go so heavy on it last week. Kind of kept me fresh this week. And then I didn't watch a whole lot. As far as movies go, but I did watch It 2017, and want to give Andy a thanks. He gave me the digital code from his Blu-ray for that one.
A long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and it sat, and my wife refused to watch it because she was afraid there would be spiders in the movie. She has a real big phobia, arachnophobia. It's very legitimate. I mean,
you should let her play Skyrim.
No, will not do it. Will not do it. She freaked out when there was a spider in World of Warcraft. She was playing World of Warcraft, and she was just, it's just a thing. I don't know. Everybody has that one thing, kind of like It. Everybody has their one fear. I really enjoyed that movie. It was amazing. The original TV miniseries, I always loved it as a kid, and later on, like, it would be on TV, and they'd kind of like show it all in one shot, like kind of as if it was a movie. And I would rewatch it anytime it was on TV. But this newest one, It 2017, is really good. Can't wait to watch Chapter 2. And then also watch this week's Film Club selection, and got into a new show with Ashley. She somebody at work recommended this to her. It's called Umbrella Academy on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. So we've been watching that. I'm about 60 or 70%. I think it's 10 episodes total. I'm on episode 6 or 7. It's pretty good. I don't
that show
know.
It shares something with Saving Private Ryan. Is my favorite thing when someone mentions that I fell asleep on the opening scene.
Oh, really?
Saving Private Ryan that one's wild. I fell asleep on the opening scene of that. But Umbrella Academy, yeah, same thing.
Well, Saving Private Ryan is a great movie. I'll defend that.
Yeah, it
one.
is.
Yeah.
I fell asleep the opening one time.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy, I want to like it. I really do. I feel like it starts off really strong, and then it just kind of, it struggles with pacing issues, is the way I would describe
like it's the
it.
greatest thing ever.
I don't know. Like, it's really tough. I realize they have to fit a lot into 10 episodes, but there were a couple episodes already that kind of felt like filler. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe they just don't have that much content to work with. Yeah. But you would think they do, considering the source material. Maybe they're trying to kind of stretch it out further. I don't know. I just know that, and there's a lot of plot holes. I mean, a lot of plot holes. And anything that...
book.
Anything,
stuff.
Yeah, I know, but anything that involves time travel, you like almost immediately jump the shark. And that's what I had to explain to Ashley. I was
it's like Endgame? Oh, whoa.
Dude, don't even get me started on that. I have so many issues with MCU writing in general.
Did I ever tell you about the time my boss roasted Daniel? The Reasons I'm Broke podcast?
No, please. Yeah, let's just get into this, yeah.
So the same boss that like loved Umbrella Academy, I was talking to him, and he was like, he works at a comic book store. It's like, yeah, the other managers want to start a podcast. Every comic book person has their podcast, and no one watches it. It wasn't directed towards Daniel, but I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, you just roasted Daniel.
So I know so I think he's right as far as every comic book person has a podcast, because the podcasting community, here in Orlando, every single person I know that works at a comic book shop has had or has a podcast at some point.
Yeah.
But Daniel would be a huge exception to that rule. I mean, he's got great listenership.
I mean, it's
really
still,
hardcore fans.
It's true though.
It's generally true, except for the nobody watches thing. Like, Daniel's kind of like, and Kelly, by the way, because that's the other half of the show. Like, they have the resolve to put. I think they've been doing it for 7 years, bro. Like, imagine doing something for 7 years. It's pretty crazy.
I think he tweeted about it the other day.
Yeah, it was the anniversary. I want to say it's either 6 or 7 years, and the amount of dedication, hard work, the ups and downs of any kind of content creation. If you're still standing after 7 years, massive respect. Because most people, I think Daniel told me this. He's like, most podcasts end after the 3rd episode.
Yep.
Well, we're at 47, so.
And we ended though.
Screwed it. We made it to 19.
We ended, and then we're back.
We're back.
We're gone longer the second time. Like, the second season of DCD has gone longer than the first.
Well, there you go. And I don't see it ending anytime soon, so, I don't know. Maybe tell your friends about the podcast, though. The audio-only numbers have been really low lately. Anyway, moving on. Speaking to Daniel, he has a listener question this week. He says, new footage of a redesigned GameStop store has appeared online, and IGN can confirm the accuracy of this leak. We want to know our thoughts on this. Did you watch the video?
Yeah. It looks gross.
Really?
Like, the store just looks disgusting.
Okay,
like,
please
not like the
expand.
display and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like the most dumb, like, interior design gripe ever. But the floor design and the wall design look terrible together. I don't know if that's just that specific store or all of them are gonna be like that.
Okay. So I'll agree with you on that front. I don't know that I would have gone with that color slat wall and that color flooring. I probably would have tried to go with a more clean look, maybe darker colors, if that makes sense.
And also, like, it's cool they have like the hangout area and all that. Yeah. But the GameStops near me don't have that, so it's not gonna like affect them. They're just gonna stay the same, or get like the gross like cover over it.
Maybe. I feel like it wouldn't cost that much to roll that sort of redesign out to the majority of their stores. I think some of them will struggle with square footage issues, because like you go in some GameStops and it's like a shoebox, dude, because they don't need a lot of space. Do you think so hypothetically, over the course of the next 12 months, every GameStop looks like this? Are you more likely or less likely, or does it just not mean anything to you?
I mean, I'm never going to GameStop again, so.
Really?
I haven't been in GameStop in like 3 years.
Because you're all digital, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I like the physical games. You guys know that I'm the
complete opposites. You like digital movies and physical games. It literally and I like physical copies of movies and digital versions of games.
No, to kind of address that, I really only buy digital versions of movies when they're on sale for about $4.99. So, for example, Punch Drunk Love, digital versions on sale for $4.99. I don't really need the physical version like that bad. But if it's the same price, or if it's a movie that I really like and want to add to my physical collection, I do. But
I mean, I can't say the same because I own some dumb movies.
Yeah, so like I'll go on Movies Anywhere, and they're really good about this, and so is Vudu, where as soon as you sign into Movies Anywhere or Vudu, it's like, hey, this is on sale. Hey, Sausage Party is only $4.99. I was like, click buy. For $5, I'll get something. To me, that's the rental price, right? And I own it in 4K.
Blu-ray.com has sales on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of deals you can get for digital only on movies, and if I can save a lot of money over a physical copy, I do it. The other part is finding physical copies of older movies that are at least Blu-ray quality is getting increasingly hard. So, for example, Punch Drunk Love, very hard to find the Blu-ray physically, and it doesn't come with the digital code. Also, I don't even think the Xbox or PlayStation after this next generation is even going to have a disc drive in it. and there aren't a whole lot of standalone Blu-ray players out there on the market. Anyway, going back to this
Xbox One X.
Yeah, that's true. I'm probably gonna hold on to that one. Going back to Daniel's question, I actually really like this. As someone who owns a decent amount of GameStop stock, I bought it at a really low price, by the way, but I think this could help them. I think this would make people more likely to visit their stores. Maybe not people like Andy, who's all digital, but people who enjoy physical copies of games. I think it helps them. People who play tabletop games, maybe they go there and they buy some stuff. It's a good way to get foot traffic. I don't think that foot traffic necessarily will drive revenue directly, right? So, good friend of mine, listener of the podcast, Bobby, aka Ruben Jim, he runs a tabletop gaming store. They sell Pokemon cards, Magic cards, etc. And he lets people play D&D at his store. And he said they might buy something here and there, but they generally don't buy much. But at least when people walk by, it looks like there's something going on in there. So I think that's kind of what GameStop is going for. I also really like the idea of them getting back into retro gaming. There's definitely money to be made there. They never should have gotten away from it in the first place. And, the mom and pop stores that have sprung up, I hope they still survive. I don't want GameStop to run any mom and pop stores out of business. I don't think that's a risk, though.
If anything, Amazon or Walmart runs GameStop out of business.
Maybe. I think Walmart and Best Buy are the two stores that I think Amazon's its own thing. Amazon people are weird, bro. Like, they're like this segment of the population. They're not going to leave the house for anything.
You calling me weird? I order a lot on Amazon.
I order a lot of stuff on Amazon, too, from time to time if I can't find it locally. Right?
I don't even attempt. I just go to Amazon first. Yeah. Amazon's my go-to.
Nah,
I need something.
I'm terrible, dude. Like, if I can find it at a local store, I buy it there. Because generally speaking, everybody will price match Amazon. And I think it's really dangerous. Oh, God, I don't want to get on this rant. But I think business is getting too big is very dangerous for a variety of reasons. I could do a whole podcast on that, by the way. Anyway, I think it's going to be...
Talks Aliens, episode 348.
Do aliens run all the corporations?
Big Amazon. It's ran by aliens.
I mean, I'm going to have some time on my hands in the near future, so Al Talks Aliens might help.
Last week, when I mentioned Shaun of the Dead...
Yeah.
Did you say you would buy a 4K Blu-ray, or you...
They're coming out with one.
Yeah, all right. Because I have the insomnia. I'm forgetting stuff.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, it came out like a week ago.
Oh,
I went on Blu-ray.com. It was on the front page.
Oh, so it's out. Okay, so I need to go pick one of those.
It's the whole trilogy, the Corletto trilogy.
No, I don't want the trilogy. I want the standalone because I don't want the other ones.
Well, the Corletto is by itself. It's the whole. I'll see. It's by itself.
They're supposed to be releasing just Shaun of the Dead, because I've seen that trilogy. They're supposed to be releasing all those movies in that trilogy individually, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy it. And
what do you have? Why are you hating on Hot Fuzz?
I like Hot Fuzz all the way up until the last 10 minutes where it turns into this weird gore fest. I wasn't really a big fan of that. That's not something that I was really cool with. I was actually watching it with someone and they were like, "Can you turn this off?" And I'm like, I kind of see why you would say that. The rest of the movie is really good though. Shaun of the Dead though, I think is a classic parody film done in such a smart way. Really funny, very rewatchable. But anyway, I think this will be good for GameStop. Moving on to entertainment. Terminator Resistance coming out this November 19th, 2019.
It's the third time I brought up this topic. Why is Terminator relevant? Why is there Terminator game?
There so much
Why is there a
Terminator
Terminator movie? Why is Terminator in Gears? Why is Terminator in Ghost Recon? Terminator is back, apparently, according to Big Terminator. Who owns them? I think Disney owns them.
I think now they do.
So yeah, Terminator's just in everything. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I did.
It looks awful.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
It looks terrible.
I don't think so, dude. I think it looks all right.
No, it's bad.
Hmm.
I mean, all right, I guess, but I'm not gonna chill out $60 for an all right game. No.
I mean, you got that right. I don't know if I'd want
when
to
I
shell
can
out
play
60
Fortnite
bucks either.
for free.
Oh, well, let's not say that, dude. That's going a little bit too far. I mean, personally, I like Salvation. Like, they made a movie game based off of that.
Yeah, easy 1000 Gs.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an easy 1000 Gs. And excuse me, I'm logging into something here on the side that I'm looking at for our show notes. But yeah, I liked Terminator Salvation, the movie. I thought it was an okay shooter. I think this will be the same. You know, I don't know if I'd buy it at $60, but you know, it could be something fun that you could play and get some enjoyment out of for, I don't know, 20 hours or so. I'm surprised at how, like, I watched
20 hours, that's a reach.
I watched this trailer and I thought it looked cool.
Nah, I was like, this looks dumb.
Oh, come on, Andy. What do you like?
Math.
Math? I love math too.
I just thought I like Synecdoche, New York. I like I don't know. The last game I beat was, I think, Mafia 3, so that doesn't help my case of calling this game bad.
Yeah.
So it's been like 2 years since I beat something.
I mean, it just depends, dude. Like, everybody's different, you know? I just think there's so much good stuff in gaming now, and there's so much less fluff. Like, I was telling Ashley, the PS2 era, there was a lot of selection in games, and that's a good thing. But there was a lot of shovelware, and there was a lot of, like, bad ports and bad remakes. And
yeah, but there's a ton of bad stuff.
Yeah, but
now.
I feel, well, you gotta really look for it. I think that if you go
Not
to a
really,
GameStop,
go on Steam.
Okay.
It's all bad.
Okay, PC's always been this weird wasteland.
Xbox, if you go to new releases, it's a bunch of bad.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess we just have, much like movies, I guess we just have different bars of what we consider to be good. So, for example, you ever play a game called Spec Ops: The Line?
No, I'm aware of it though.
So there was a game that came out about 6 or 7 years ago called Spec Ops: The Line, and it got like above average reviews, lots of 6s and 7s. I loved that game. I bought it at $60. I played it for
Anakin
about.
Skywalker would have hated it because there's too much sand.
Well, that's good. You're so stupid, but that's funny. That's funny. But, like, I thought it told a good story. I probably got about 15 hours out of it. I was happy with it. I was like, you know what? That's not too bad. And then I ended up selling it for, I don't know, like 30, right? So, like, I'm okay with that, you know? But I
That
guess
was 7 years ago, though. It's 2019.
Oh, man, I don't know.
All we want are bangers, even though I play 2K and Madden, and that's it.
Yeah, I didn't pay for Madden this year, so thanks, EA. But
technically, through things I can't talk about, or people get mad, I made my money back on Madden. So
I know what you're talking about. I think our listeners know what you're talking about as well. I don't know, Terminator Resistance, if I see it in the bargain bin, I'm going to pick it up. And apparently people like Andy don't think it looks very good, so it might end up in the bargain bin. So something that won't end up in the bargain bin.
The GameStop, to go back to the last topic.
My segue was great there.
Sorry.
You screwed it up.
GameStop should get the Walmart Classic, like, tin or whatever, like the big bucket, the $5 Blu-rays, but for games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go in there and I'll reach my hand in there and do what I do with Blu-rays and buy Terminator Resistance and give it like 2 hours of justice.
My Walmart does that.
For games?
Yeah, they have like a little, you have to go find it, but in the video section they have this like under $20 rack, and it's just like a bunch of junk.
No,
I mean,
it can't be a rack. It's got to be a big, like,
my Best Buy does that.
Pile.
Go to Best
of
Buy,
just
dude.
Games.
They got stuff as low as $9.99 in a bin. I kind of like it. I also like going to Best Buy and I'll go through that like $6 Blu-ray bin. I love that, dude. That's how I found Mrs. Doubtfire for $4.99.
That's most of my Blu-ray collection.
And the digital code still worked. So I got it on Movies Anywhere. I could watch Mrs. Doubtfire on my phone, my tablet, my PC, my Xbox. Watch it anywhere because it's a timeless movie that everybody should watch.
Makes my Blu-ray collection look like butt, though.
Well, speaking of something that doesn't look like butt, Nintendo Switch Lite released today. Tomorrow, rather. September 20th. And it's releasing...
2 days ago.
Yeah, well, 2 days ago when you're listening to it. We're recording this on Thursday. I keep thinking today's 20th. I don't know why. But anyway, Nintendo Switch Lite released $199.99. Comes out in 3 colors. We've talked about it a lot on the show. Early reviews are really good on this thing. And I can't think of a better game. I didn't realize that these were launching on the same day. Switch Lite and Link's Awakening. Pretty good idea to release those two at the same time.
It's almost like Nintendo is like
they got a marketing
outsmarting
group.
the competition now.
I know, dude. That's so weird. It's kind of like
it's
how
almost like Nintendo is back and they're the best gaming company right now.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
But they are.
Nah, it's Xbox.
They're the only console right now that makes me want to play games.
I don't know, man. I love the Switch.
I'm not excited for anything that's coming on Xbox the rest of the year. And there's 4 or 5 games I want to play on my Switch.
Well, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree there. I like all... By the way, I want to make this really clear. I love the PlayStation platform this generation. It's been good. I've actually liked it a little bit more in my PS3 that I had. So, you know, I'm not downing on Sony, so please don't take it that way. I'll down on the Google Stadia. I think that's stupid, but Nintendo is back. I totally agree with you. I don't think that it's the console that I'm most excited about, but there's a couple things that I really like that Switch did or Nintendo did with the Switch platform, like embracing indie games. That's one thing. The other thing is like
they did some. I don't know. They did something they didn't do with the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they hand select games for the? They don't like just let everyone put stuff on there.
You're right. I think that's good. I think it's good to be a gatekeeper. That's the only time I'll ever tell you being a gatekeeper is a good thing. But I like what Nintendo is doing with that, and I think the new Link's Awakening looks amazing. And I want a Switch Mini, but I don't know.
It's called Switch Lite.
Oh, Switch Lite. I'm sorry. I called it a Switch Mini like 2 times, I think. I'm sorry about that, guys. Well, I'll have to put that in the old segment that we haven't brought back in a while. Oops.
Because we don't mess things up.
Oops, we made a mistake. Here's a correction. It's the Switch Lite, not the Switch Mini, as Alex said multiple times. But yeah, I just thought I'd put it on there and just say, hey, like, Switch Lite looks really cool. Bring out a purple one, please.
Of many things.
Oh.
There's a mini city in Synecdoche, New York, our DCD Film Club selection this week. So, my selection was Synecdoche, New York. It's the directorial debut of Charlie Kaufman, he's more famed for being a writer. He wrote Adaption, Being John Malkovich, and Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, I like those, yeah.
So he's a pretty good writer. So this is his directorial debut. To describe the movie, I'll do my best. Genre, couldn't tell you. According to IMDb, it is a theater director struggles with his work and the woman of his life, and he creates a life-size replica of New York City inside a warehouse as part of his play. That's the description on IMDb. Which is like the smallest thing about the movie ever.
Yeah, it's not really that good of a description, but it's very hard to like sum up this movie in a paragraph or even.
Yeah. So Alexander, what do you think of Synecdoche, New York?
So this is my first time.
Never heard of.
Yeah, this is my first time watching it, so probably worth noting. I started off, especially after the week I had. It's like I don't need to watch this. This is sad, but. I kind of grew to understand the vision, the themes, motifs, whatever you want to call it, that this movie's going after, and kind of the character development is just so exceptionally done throughout this movie. I mean, I found myself at the end just being blown away. I mean, I really, like, it didn't end. 30 minutes in, I didn't think it was going to end the way it did. I kind of saw it coming at the end, but I mean, even then, it's still kind of, it's just breathtaking. The ending, I thought they were going to do the typical movie thing where there's like this watershed moment where everything turns out all right, and it just never occurs. The acting is exceptional. They got some great actors and actresses on this movie.
Yep.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've never seen him in a movie where I said, oh man, he really mailed it in on that one. Definitely one of his best performances here. I was really impressed with the makeup jobs and the visual effects in this movie, like specifically aging makeup. And the reason I say that is because me and my wife used to be a really big fan of this show called Face Off that was on Sci-Fi, where they would do makeup, and every year they'd have these people on this show that were professional makeup artists do aging makeup. And some people really struggle with it. It's very difficult to make someone who's 40 look like they're 60 or 70 or 80 and so on.
That's a topic we missed.
What do you mean?
Face Off is getting remade, but
is it?
Not the TV show, the movie, the Nick Cage movie.
I'm excited about that because I love the original Face Off movie, but I really like the Face Off TV show. It was really fun. I've watched every season. I've seen every episode. Anyway.
So, Synecdoche in New York.
So yeah, back to that. So the makeup job, the visual effects were really outstanding. Cinematography goes without saying. It was really well done. I felt like I was there, man. Like it's amazing how well it was done, especially like earlier on in the movie when he's living in like, it looks like kind of like a townhome. Like you really feel like you're in the room. Everything feels really tight, cozy, and I like that. So the score was really good. I'm assuming it was originally put together for this movie because I haven't heard it before. It's just outstanding. Love the writing, love the themes. A little bit of a downer, but I'm okay with that if it means something. Like if there's a reason for it being depressing, I'm okay with it. And I felt like it was very real. What are your thoughts on this movie, Andy?
This is the hardest hitting movie ever.
Yeah.
I just, cry like a baby at the end. So yeah, this movie's impossible to describe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just a complete masterpiece, and I love it. I don't know really what to say. To be honest with you,
there's just so many things going on, like in this movie, and so many different stories get told.
There's something I respect about Charlie Kaufman in that he won't tell anyone what this movie means. It's art. Like, I don't know. I plan on getting tattoos in the future. And so, like, I plan on getting tattoos, and there's, like, different tattoos I'm getting that they all mean something to me. And I've thought about this, like, it's going to happen eventually. Someone's going to be like, oh, what's the tattoo? What does that mean? And I'm just gonna be like, it's whatever you think it is, man.
Yeah,
it's art.
Yeah,
and this is exactly what this movie is. Like he's like, it's you interpret it. It's your story.
Yeah, I mean,
you take away whatever you take away from it.
There's a lot of things going on in this movie.
There's so much you can take away from it.
Yeah,
there is. I guess you call it a documentary. I don't know. There's a 50-minute long analysis of it on YouTube by yourmoviesucks.org,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen, but yeah.
So to me, I walked away with a couple things. So number one, main character, he suffers from, what's it called, where I can't think of the name right now, where you always think there's something wrong with you medically, but they're
Schizophrenia?
no, not schizophrenia.
Never mind.
Hypochondriacism, I think.
Yeah, hypochondriac.
So he struggles with that, and it starts to splinter things in his marriage. And I think it tells a really good story about how two people can grow apart. You know, like that's the one thing that I came away with at the beginning of the movie. And then here comes this giant opportunity out of nowhere, right? He gets the MacArthur grant, which if you're not familiar with it, look it up. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it basically frees him up to do whatever he wants artistically. But because of the person he is, and his wife even points this out before she leaves him, that he goes too far into detail. He squanders it. He squanders his entire life trying to achieve perfection. So he rewrites and recasts and changes things, and it starts to blur the lines between his work and his actual life eventually. And at the end, he's left. He really never accomplished anything. And I think it's like this really great, I walk away from it and I go, it shows like you can lose yourself in your work in a bad way. You can squander your life and opportunities because of what you perceive as shortcomings. You can get too far into the details. And it made me remember something where, just like in my life, where I was working on something that was creative. And I kept working on it. I kept getting frustrated because it wasn't exactly perfect. And somebody stopped me and they said, what you have to understand about things that are creative is that they're not going to be perfect. It never will be, because it's something that's creative, right? So if you put it out there and it's creative, people look past the flaws, right? If you got really up close to the Mona Lisa painting, you could probably find like tiny little flaws in it, right? But nobody cares about that. It's beautiful on its face. It stands on its own as art, as something creative. So I felt for the main character because everything got away from him. His family, another family, the woman that he really loved, all got away from him because he couldn't get past what he was working on and his past failures. And it was just, that was beautiful. The Hazel character is another one that was a really integral part of the movie. And she moves into that house that's on fire. And at first I was like, what is going on here? You know, but it's symbolism, right? She willingly moves into that house that's on fire and dies from smoke inhalation later on in life. And it's kind of, to me, like it's symbolism for sometimes you make choices that shorten your life. Sometimes you choose how you're going to die. And that's a really powerful thing.
Did you notice that the voicemail started, he called Adele. It's like, hey, it's Adele. And then it switches to Hazel.
Yeah.
My takeaway from the movie is kind of dark, I guess. In that everyone's trying to prefer, like, everyone's like, oh, keys to be happy or whatever. You gotta live this perfect life. But then at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters, I guess, is what you care for and what's around you when you die. It's like the whole movie's like all this, and then he ends up being happy as pretending to be a old lady that disappointed his mom.
I guess I could totally see where you're going with it. To me, I walked away going, this movie to me means seize the day. When you get an opportunity, take it. Don't be afraid to move on from the past. Don't get too far into the details. At the same time, maybe don't be reckless. Like his first wife was reckless. Ended up ruining the life of his child. Right? And like she was so warped as a young adult because of like, you know, what Adele did when, you know, she left with Olive. And I think the other thing too is it's like a very strong recurring theme throughout is Philip Seymour Hoffman's character keeps getting reminded, dude, it's been 6 years. And then at some point somebody's like, dude, we've been here 17 years working on this play. Yeah. And it kind of like, enjoy what you have while you have it. Appreciate every day. It goes by so fast. Don't get so caught up in things that you miss the beauty in life because, you know, you don't know what's after, you know? And like, you don't know when it'll end. You don't know how long you have. Like, so the idea is try to do what you really want to do to give yourself. That's the other thing too. Like, everybody has a different definition of what would make them happy, satisfied, and feeling fulfilled. Everybody has a different definition of that. Some people are just happy living in a crappy apartment, working a normal 9-to-5 job, and that's the end, right? Like, okay, if that's what makes you happy, great, do it. Some people have higher aspirations, and then there's a bunch of people in between. But I think overall, like, it's really dark, dude, but it's really real. Yeah. It's brilliant. But
it challenges you.
Yeah, it definitely challenges you, and it makes you reflect on yourself. And in a weird way, I kind of feel like I needed it this week just because of some stuff going on with me. And I'm like, you know, maybe moving on to something else, working on something new isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have...
Depressing news about this movie?
Sure, give it to me.
Budget $20 million, box office 3.
So here's the thing, Andy. I don't think this is a movie for the masses. I think most people...
It was nominated for the Palme d'Or, but didn't win.
I don't think that most people would want to take this kind of a look at life. It's like that old saying, everybody likes the sausage, but nobody wants to see how the sausage is made. Because you don't want to see that. Rather watch Endgame.
I mean, general people are just dumb.
I think this is, and I also think that this would confuse a lot of people. I'm not making an insult to anybody's intelligence, but I really had to pay attention. You cannot watch this where it's like in the background or something. You have to pay attention. There's so many little details. There's so many foreshadowing moments. That moment when his wife is talking to him about lighting cues, where he says, why did I do this to myself? I had over 500 lighting cues in a production of Death of a Salesman. And she goes, well, that's how you are. You always go overboard with the details. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But that's foreshadowing for what happens later. He spends decades on this play. I kept wondering, how is he paying for all this? That's what I wanted to know.
It's that grant, bro.
But that grant is only $600K. How did he do it?
Balling on a budget.
Balling on a budget.
He made a city within a city within a city within a city.
It's so dark, and I think it makes, if you watch it, and when I say understand, I just mean get a general idea of what's going on. It makes you reflect on yourself and like what you're doing.
And then, then there's the other characters. By the end of the movie, they're all working towards something that's meaningless.
Yeah. I mean,
And then they all eventually, go crazy and kill themselves.
it's so dark. I don't know, but I think it's brilliant. It's one of the most unique movies I've ever seen. I don't think that I could think of anything like it.
Yeah. So, Alex, out of 10, Synecdoche, New York.
8.5.
I have it as a 10 out of 10.
It's fair. It's fair. I've seen a lot of great Philip Seymour Hoffman performances. To me, this is it. This is the one, dude. This is the one. When you watch him age, dude, you feel it.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And if you didn't check this out, shame
It's
on
on
you.
Crackle.
Yeah, shame on you. Go check it out. Yeah, that's true. It is on Crackle.
We're, there's the Sony fans. There you go. And we're talking about Blu-rays, and Blu-rays are owned by Sony anyway, so.
Well, my movie pick is on Crackle too, so there you go.
Is it the one I suggested?
So in the show notes, Andy always puts joke movies in there, and I'm hoping for one day where he puts a joke movie in there and it's actually what I'm gonna pick.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, I put whenever I'm picking, I just put my movie there, and since I've done it for so long, you're just gonna assume that I'm just memeing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, overall,
I try to pick movies that would never be picked. By the way, for the fans, it's Stuart Little 2.
I was gonna say Stuart Little 2. It was close. It was in my top 5 this week, so we might get to Stuart Little 2 pretty soon, but not quite yet. So this is my last pick before October, where we're going to be doing the spooky movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We should do maybe
Spooktober.
we should do some kind of cool thing for it. But my pick this week, it is available on Crackle, and it was made in 2006. It's a drama fantasy movie, and it's a lot like my last pick. It was a movie where a comedian took on a role that was a serious role, and I feel like it's one of their greatest performances. As a result, showed a new side of this particular actor, and it's Stranger Than Fiction, starring Will Ferrell, Dustin Hoffman, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and a bunch of other people. I think Queen Latifah's in there too. I love her. Anyway, that's my pick for next week. Available on Crackle. It's like $2.99 if you want to get it on anything. Just go to Crackle. It's free. You can stream it for free. But I think it's a brilliant movie. Well, with ads. Maybe rent it off of Vudu for $2.99 without the ads. It's worth it. I promise.
Or go to your local Family Video.
Yeah,
if you have one.
You could probably find it pretty cheap. I mean, I feel like the movie did pretty well, so there's probably a lot of physical copies out there. But I really like this movie, so I hope you guys will like it too. Anyway, moving on to sports. Minkah Fitzpatrick requested a trade. He was apparently upset with having to play strong safety. He wants to play corner, or maybe
strong safety. He was mad that he didn't have a position. They played him everywhere.
Well, they don't
he played
really
slot. He played.
They don't really
boundary.
have a lot
He played
of
safety.
Yeah.
He played linebacker.
They just don't have a lot of talent. So I feel like when you have, I guess I have a different methodology on this. I kind of like what they do in college football sometimes, where you have
Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, like Jabril Peppers, or when I was a kid, Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey, when you watched him in college, he'd line up at running back, he'd line up at wide receiver.
Yeah.
They had
Miles
him playing.
Jack did that too.
Yeah, Charles Woodson, same thing. When you have great athletes, you use them in a variety of ways. He didn't like that. He wanted to move on. Dolphins got a heck of a haul for him here. And the Steelers get a hell of a player.
The Dolphins won this trade, in my opinion.
So here's my thought on it. The late round pick swap, don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't really factor that in.
Pick.
It's that first round pick. And the Steelers just lost Ben Roethlisberger for the year.
They did this trade after Ben. They're putting a lot of faith in Mason Rudolph.
I like Mason Rudolph, but I don't think this is a playoff team. I don't think the Steelers are a playoff team without the Big Ben injury. I think this would have helped. right?
Yeah.
If they had Big Ben, they bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick, maybe things get a little bit better. But, through the first 2 weeks of the season, what I saw from the Steelers was struggling to move the ball on offense like they have done in the past. And I think it really taxed the defense. And I think they're going to lose a lot of 50-50 games this year because of that. They can't put points on the board. That, missing Antonio Brown, I get why they did what they did, but, it shows. It shows. And James Conner doesn't look that good this year. Just saying.
I guess it's the same thing last year. Is what they're going to draft with that pick going to be worth it? Like the Amari Cooper trade.
Yeah.
Is what they would have drafted going to be as good as Amari Cooper is?
Remind me, what did the Raiders get with that Amari Cooper pick? Was it Jacobs?
I think Jonathan Abram.
Oh, okay.
Or Josh Jacobs, or it was one of them. They definitely did not draft Cleveland Farrell. That was their own pick. Well, they had 3 picks. One of them were the Bears pick. It was Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Abram, which both of them have been solid until Jonathan Abram, after the first week, had a shoulder surgery.
Okay.
But Josh Jacobs is looking really good. Yeah.
So I like Josh Jacobs, and if that's what they ended up getting, that's a great pickup because, Cooper really kind of wanted to be out of there anyway, I think. So I like this trade. I agree with Andy, though. I think the Dolphins definitely won this trade because I don't think the Steelers are going to be very good. And, my opinion of Minkah Fitzpatrick is I always thought he was going to end up at free safety. I felt like that was going to kind of be his end game role, was maybe a slot corner, maybe a free safety.
We don't pay a first-round pick for a slot corner.
No, you don't. I mean, that's why the Bucs basically this year went all in on Hargraves and said, we're not going to play him in the slot anymore. We're going to play him outside. It's his last year in the rookie contract. But we, drafted this guy, I think 13 overall, something like that. We need out. And Hargraves has thrived, by the way. He's done pretty good this year. So I'm happy Fitzpatrick gets a new home. If he plays well, I think he'll probably retire a Steeler. So good stuff.
Jalen Ramsey has requested a trade.
I mean, if you're the Jaguars, you don't have to trade him.
He's going to leave in free agency, though. He's made it blatantly clear that he's going to go to Tennessee or Las Vegas in free agency.
Really? I thought that he was under contract for a little bit more.
He's a free agent after next year.
After next year? Theoretically, they could franchise tag him, I guess, twice.
Theoretically,
right?
They could keep him for 3 seasons or 4 seasons.
Yeah, but then maybe he sits out. I would hate to... If I'm the Jaguars, I would hate to trade Jalen Ramsey because I think he's one of the better corners in the NFL. No doubt. I think he's probably the best corner on the Jaguars, although A.J. Bouye is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I just... Do you want him there? I mean, if you could get a first-round pick for him, which, by the way, lately people have given up first-round picks for a lot of players.
Well, the news broke that he's going to play Thursday, or they're not going to trade him before now.
Yeah.
So a team asked the NFL if he could play Thursday, and if they traded for him, if he could play Sunday. The NFL's like, no.
No, that's a nightmare because if he gets hurt, the NFL is going to take the blame for that.
But at the same time...
This ain't baseball.
Doug Marrone's also probably been fired. He completely lost the team. If you watch the video of the fight, the team was backing up Jalen Ramsey, not the coach.
I mean, I agree with you.
The players around Jalen Ramsey.
I agree with you. I think Doug Marrone lost the team last year.
So they had to get rid of Doug Marrone. They have to get rid of... the whole team's done. You got to get rid of everybody. A few people can stay. Maybe Leonard Fournette can stay. Miles Jack. Some pieces can stay, but the rest, you got to get rid of everything.
How much of a shame is it to you that this was a team that was...
I'm telling you, we've talked about this before. Paul Posluszny leaving was the biggest,
You're probably right.
His, locker room presence ruined this team whenever he retired.
They were one play away from the Super Bowl. If that if that fumble that Myles Jack recovered, because it was a fumble, doesn't get blown dead, that's a touchdown. They beat the Patriots. They go to the Super Bowl. I think they beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Good God. And look what it is now. Ugh. You hate to see it, dude. I mean, and I'm not even saying it in the meme way that most people use, but like, you really hate to see a team.
It just happens when teams lose in the playoffs.
It happened. I mean, it almost happened a long, long time ago, right before the Bucs won their Super Bowl in 2002. Things were getting pretty tense in Tampa.
It happened to the 49ers.
Definitely happened to the 49ers. That was a bad summer to be a San Fran fan.
Alexander, we're running out of time, so we're going to quickly get through our picks for this week. Last week, we both went 11-5, moving our overall records to I'm 22-9-1, you're 21-10-1. Consensus picks are 18-4, which is pretty solid. And our split picks, I'm up 6-5 to 1.
So we're pretty close to each other, right, for the year?
But yeah, I'm one up.
Oh man, I got to change that.
Consensus picks are 18-4. I'm pretty proud of that.
All right.
So tonight we have the Jacksonville Jaguars playing at home against the Tennessee Titans, and I'm assuming this one's gonna be consensus that we're both going with the Tennessee Titans.
Hate to bet against the Jaguars, but I'm going Titans.
Then we have the Atlanta Falcons in Indiana. I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons, even though the Colts have looked impressive this year.
I'm actually gonna go Colts.
All right, next we have Cincinnati at Buffalo, and I'm going with the 6-point underdog, the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm going Buffalo. I like how they're playing, man.
Then we have Miami Dallas, a 21.5-point spread.
A historic 23-point spread. It's the first time since the strike season in the 80s.
It's not a record, though.
Well, it's not
the Patriots spreads more.
It's not a.
This week.
I'm sorry. I apologize, but it's the first time since the 80s that two teams in 1 week have been over 20-point favorites. But I'm going Cowboys. The Cowboys look great this year, by the way.
Next up, we have Denver at Green Bay. I'm going with Green Bay.
Green Bay, I really don't like how Denver looks with Flacco. It's not working out.
Then we have Detroit at Philadelphia. I'm going with the Detroit Lions.
I like Philly at home.
And we have Baltimore at Kansas City. I think Baltimore is completely overrated and going with Kansas City.
Mahomes is apparently little slowed down by a foot injury, and I really like the Ravens, especially against that Kansas City D. So I'm taking Ravens.
And we have Oakland at Minnesota. Going with the Minnesota Vikings at home.
Yeah, I like the Vikings at home.
We have the Jets at New England. Oh, I wonder who we're picking here.
I mean, unless if Darnold was
Patriots.
If Darnold was playing, I think this had the chance to be.
Darnold's not playing.
Well, of
Trevor
course he's
Siemian, I
not.
assume's not playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Patriots, and if you could pick up the Patriots D in fantasy football, pick them up this week. It's gonna be a slaughter.
We have the New York Giants at your hometown, not really hometown, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I was surprised to see a lot of people feeling like the Giants are going to get their first win this week. And the rumor is, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Daniel Jones is supposed to be the starter this week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Tampa.
Next up we have...
Who are you taking?
Oh, Tampa. I already wrote it in the notes. That's why I didn't say anything.
For some reason, like Giants.
No, for some reason in my spreadsheet, I have a game that doesn't exist next.
What is this game?
I put Carolina at Atlanta. I don't know. That game's not happening this week. I don't know why that's in here. So New Orleans at Seattle is next, and I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks.
I think you meant to type Carolina at Arizona, by the way, because that's who's playing. You probably you just probably had a moment. So I'm actually really. By the way, everybody's saying Drew Brees should be done and that they should move on to Teddy Bridgewater. Needs to watch last Sunday's game again. Going Seahawks here. I hope Breeze is back
Well,
soon.
they're going Teddy Bridgewater because Drew Brees had hand surgery and he's out.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, when they traded for Teddy Bridgewater, I know a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, man, Teddy Two Gloves, he's the future in New Orleans. He's not looking so hot.
You said Seattle, right?
Yeah, Seattle, bro.
Even though both teams look awful this year.
Seattle looks all right.
Barely beating a Ben Roethlisberger-less Pittsburgh and barely beating the Bengals.
They beat who was in front of them. There's more you can say about the Saints.
Carolina at Arizona, the game that I messed up. And I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals.
You know what? I watched Thursday Night Football, and I really thought Carolina was going to beat Tampa, and I think Tampa is better than the Cardinals, so therefore I'm going Panthers.
All right, then we have Pitt at my San Francisco 49ers, the greatest team on planet. We're 2-0, both away games, playing at home against Ben Roethlisberger-less Steelers. We're top 10 in every single major stat in football. And Nick Bosa is number 1 in pressures right now.
Is Bosa playing this week?
Entire league. Probably. From what I'm aware of.
Mason Rudolph with Bosa in his face all game long. Not going to be fun. Tough start. Feel bad for the kid. I'm going 49ers. I'm assuming you are too.
Yeah. Quan Alexander, by the way.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's
amazing. He's amazing. I can't stress this enough. Like, people ask me all the time, what do you think about Quan Alexander? I wish he had stayed in Tampa, but he got paid by the 49ers. Yeah. The Bucks refused to pay him.
The highest paid linebacker in football right now.
He's so good. He deserves it. I know that's high praise to say somebody deserves to be the highest paid, but he is a monster. He is all over the field.
And then Kella Weatherspoon finally playing. I think it was like 12 targets to him, and he's allowed, I think, 3 receptions, and he's allowed like a 12 QBR. A 12 QBR.
A lot of people had some doubts. I saw a lot of analysts saying the 49ers defense was kind of meh going into this year. I like what I'm seeing out of that defensive unit. I mean, they made Jameis Winston look like a fool week 1. And
I might be wrong, but the Bengals only ran for 24 yards with Joe Mixon. So, pretty solid. Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Chargers, and I'm going with Houston.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Los Angeles. I'm going to say they rebound this week, though. I'm taking the Chargers here.
All right, now we have the other LA team at Cleveland.
I hate taking a West Coast team traveling east, but since this is a night game, I don't think it's that much of a concern. So I'm going to go Rams here.
And then I'm also going Rams.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting things on the dock and then thinking I'm saying it. Chicago Bears at Washington Redskins. I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Redskins this year. Case Keenum's trying, man, but I just don't like the rest of the team. Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears D is sick.
That's the episode. Go ahead and plug everything, Alexander.
I just want to say that Mitch Trubisky's really disappointing me, and I'm not even a Bears fan. I feel bad for Bears fans. They gave up a lot.
Shout out to that 3rd round pick that they gave the 49ers to trade up 1 spot, even though we weren't going to draft them.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right, when you think about it, but I mean, I guess they were concerned. I don't know. Draft is weird sometimes. You kind of wonder what those conversations actually look like behind closed doors. Anyway, t-shirt links in the description. If you buy one of those, you get gives us like $6, so helps out the podcast. In addition, Patreon link for that is in the description. You go to patreon.com/DCD podcast. You check out all the benefits there. You basically get early access for as little as $1. The ability to suggest movies for DCD Film Club when we do the Patreon pick every 3 weeks. All kinds of other great benefits as well. Decals, t-shirts, you name it. Go to patreon.com/DCD podcast, and you can check out all the benefits there. I want to give a big thanks to our Patreon backers, Daniel and Bobby in the Andy tier, Jared on the Gold tier. Jared, please tell us what game you want to play with us this month. I don't think he's gotten back to us.
No, he said he's like, I'll just think about it or something like that. I forgot what he said.
Well, get back to us, Jared. We want to play something with you. You earned it. So you will definitely get that perk. I'm a man of my word. Anyway, finally, if you want to help us out, you don't want to contribute monetarily, maybe you can't. That's cool. Everybody goes through those hard times. If you want to help us out, go to iTunes, leave us a review on there. Helps other people find the show, and I greatly appreciate it. Or tell a friend. Be like, hey, this DCD podcast is pretty cool. And then finally, if you're wondering if we're on other platforms, maybe you're watching the video version, you want the audio version, or vice versa, go to deadchannelduo.com. There's a link at the top with every platform that we're currently on. That's my promotional garbage. I'm sorry for it. Andy, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. Khan's dropping a new project this Friday.
Who?
He's a rapper. Very underrated rapper. K.A. N.
I think I've seen him.
After the N. I've used him in several videos before.
Oh, I'll have to check it out then.
His project come out tomorrow.
I like your little outro music stuff. It's always good. Well, most of the time it's always good. Anyway, any thoughts on the Red Sox, Andy?
What was there to say?
Okay. Well,
Mookie Betts is leaving.
Oh, is he? I thought he was signed to a mega deal.
But he's apparently going to leave.
That's unfortunate. He's a good one. You want to keep a guy like that. Anyway, that's going to do it for DC 47. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week for DCD 48.
Das Vidania.